Hello and welcome to News Now. The Nigerian army has downplayed claims that the terrorist sect Boko Haram has established a factory in Bama, Borno State, northeast Nigeria, which they use to produce bombs. The terrorist group Boko Haram had released photos of what it called a rocket-making factory purportedly situated in the northeastern region of Nigeria. The pictures are believed to have been taken at a college in Borno State and were reportedly sent to media organizations. However, the defense headquarters, through its official Twitter account, said the images were nothing but empty threats which cannot prevent the group from being defeated. It said Boko Haram was only trying to create tension and make people believe that they are still active. President Muhammadu Buhari, since assuming office, has made defeating the terrorist sect Boko Haram his #1 priority, giving all service chiefs a deadline of December to end the insurgency. The Nigerian Senate has resolved to send a delegation to Adamawa State to commiserate with victims, people and government of the state over repeated attacks by Boko Haram insurgents. This comes as the upper chamber condemned the recent bomb blasts in the state and urged security agencies to intensify their search for the perpetrators of the act and bring them to justice. The development was sequel to a motion raised by Senator Ahmadu Abubakar of Adamawa South, who noted that the insurgents have sustained assaults in the state, noting the recent attack on an internally displaced persons camp in Yola and Madagali town. The delegation is to be led by the leader of the Senate, Muhammad Ali Ndume, while all senators from Adamawa State are to also join the team.
Humanitarian crisis in the northeast is so pathetic that Nigeria has the largest population of internally displaced persons in Africa and one of the largest in the world. Accordingly, resolved to 1. Condemn the bomb blast in its entirety and urge the security agencies to intensify the hunt for the perpetrators to bring them to justice.
There is no doubt that the military is making considerable progress in containing the activities of the Boko Haram in recent time. And we must, at this time, thank our gallant men of the Nigerian Army Forces for their courage. There's no doubt also that these dastardly act of actually attacking the camps is something that we can never condone, and we must do our best at all times to provide security for those who are already displaced, who now find themselves in the camps. So once again, on behalf of the Senate, we commiserate with the families, and based by the prayer too, we will send a team led by the leader, Senator Ali Ndume, also have Senator Mao Waban as a member, Senator Solomon Adiola, member, Senator Gershom Bassi, Senator Mohamed Shaba Lafiaji, Senator Kabiru Marafa, and all senators from Adamawa State will join in the delegation.
Amnesty International says the Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria has fallen short of the UN's expert advice on oil spill, adding that the oil giants made false statements about cleanup and remediation of oil spills. Speaking to journalists in Abuja on the adequacy and effectiveness of oil spill cleanup by SPDC, Mark Dummett, Amnesty International's researcher on business and human rights, revealed that upon his investigation of oil spill sites in Ogoniland, it is crystal clear that Shell's claim of remediation of specific sites is wide off the mark. Dummett confirmed that a number of places and locations which the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency NOSDRA had certified as clean are visibly contaminated. He called on the government to be on top of its responsibility by confirming that all affected sites are properly cleaned up.
National has been investigating a number of oil spill sites in the Niger Delta, in Ogoniland to be precise, and what we've found is that the sites are still contaminated with oil. When you go there, you can see and smell for yourselves the oil that is still present in the land and the waterways. What we've since found out is that Shell, the oil giant, claims to have cleaned up these same oil spill sites. That's why the subtitle of this report is that Shell has been making false claims about how it has cleaned up these places. So what we're calling for, what Amnesty International is calling for, is for Shell to go back to these places and clean them up once and for all. And we're also calling for the Nigerian government to keep a much closer eye on what Shell is doing, to hold this company to account, to make sure that Shell is doing what it says it does. There is NOSDRA, which is the government regulatory agency, and it is NOSDRA's job to certify the cleanup that's conducted by Shell and its contractors. And we have found in a number of locations that NOSDRA has certified as clean places which are clearly still contaminated. For example, Okulwebu in Ogale, this has been certified as clean. But I went there in August and I saw and I smelt the oil which is heavy in the air. So something has clearly gone wrong. Now we're calling for NOSDRA to be provided with greater capacity. It needs more resources so it can conduct independent investigations, but also it needs to take on to hire people with much greater expertise so that they can hold to account what is, after all, one of the world's richest and most powerful companies.
Senate President Bukola Saraki has filed an appeal at the Supreme Court over the decision of the appeal court to reject his application challenging the jurisdiction of the Code of Conduct Tribunal to try him for corruption. Saraki, who is facing a 13-count of false asset declaration when he was governor of Kwara State, in his latest appeal, is urging the Apex Court to halt the proceedings of the Code of Conduct Tribunal to try him for the alleged offences. He pled not guilty to all 13 charges leveled against him by the Code of Conduct Bureau, describing them as false and frivolous, adding that the charges were calculated to rubbish him. The tribunal also adjourned Saraki's trial till November the 5th and 6th. A federal high court in Abuja has granted permission to the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, to travel abroad for medical attention pending the commencement of his trial. Dasuki is standing trial for alleged unlawful possession of firearms and money laundering. The federal government last month filed a fresh count charge of money laundering while also applying to a federal high court in Abuja for a secret trial, in addition to seeking witness protection for all its witnesses in the suite. Justice Adeni Ademola ordered the court registrar to release the travel documents of the former NSA upon the perfection of the terms attached to the order. His trial has now been adjourned till November the 26th and 27th, 2015.
Anything otherwise will have been most unexpected, because for you to stand trial, you must be in a good state of health. It's not as if he's been allowed to go away, and he is presumed innocent. If a dead man cannot face trial, because once your health is not well managed and you are gone, then of what use? So the application is also in the best interest of the complainant to enable the accused person to withstand this trial, if only to reassure the system that he's not just going to take his passport and go away. A shorty to that effect, there is nothing unusual, especially when DPP made it an issue that there will be nothing on ground. So it's okay with us.
Nigeria Senate President Bukola Saraki has handed over the final list of ministers who scaled through the confirmation process to President Muhammadu Buhari. During the meeting in the presidential villa, the president again explained that the federal government might not be able to fund all the existing ministries given the unavailability of funds. President Buhari emphasized that his administration would not have 36 ministries because of the economic downturn. Now, receiving the list of the 36 ministerial nominees confirmed by the Senate from Bukola Saraki, he commended the Senate for the screening exercise, especially as the National Assembly passed all the names he submitted. While the Senate President has supported President Muhammadu Buhari on the structure of his cabinet, according to Saraki, there's nothing new in having junior ministers.
Before, you've had ministers of state in the past. I don't think there's anything new. The ministers with special duties, they don't have portfolios. I think the key issue is the being in cabinets to contribute to government, and those that will have responsibilities of the ministries, I don't know how many at the end of the day would do that. So minister of state is not new. Having not 36, we've had it before, and I'm sure you remember that as well. So I don't think honestly, I think we need to move away from the small issues and begin to focus on the major issues. I think where the country presently now, we're at a very trying time, no doubt about it. We have the challenge in the Northeast. We have the challenge in the issue of revenue. We have the challenge in the issue of trying to boost the economy and create jobs. We have some of these issues that we really need to address. And I think that it is time for us those are some of the things we looked at as a Senate, that it's time for us to give support in moving the country forward.
Now, portfolios for the ministers are expected to be assigned by the President later this week. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara, has said that he informed the principal officers in the House about his choices for members and leaders of House committees, disputing earlier claims by the Majority Leader Femi Gbajabiamila. He, however, admitted that the consultation held on the same day he made the announcement. In an October 20th letter made public a day ago, Gbajabiamila cautioned Dogara against violating House rules, which provides that the Speaker shall, in consultation with principal officers, appoint chairmen and deputy chairmen from among the members of the committees. The letter was made public and apparent discontent among many APC lawmakers who have accused Dogara of changing the ruling party to strengthen the opposition People's Democratic Party in a manner that can sabotage the change mantra of President Muhammadu Buhari. Gbajabiamila warned in the letter that allowing principal officers to know of the composition upon announcement on the floor of the House would not augur well for Nigerian democracy and legislature. The arraignment of the former governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suswan, failed on Wednesday at the Federal High Court, Abuja, as no judge was assigned the case. The former governor was billed for arraignment by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Wednesday over allegations bordering on money laundering to the tune of 3 billion naira. However, this eventually did not happen. The anti-graft agency had on Monday, October the 2nd, filed a 9-count charge bordering on money laundering to the tune of 3.1 billion naira to Federal High Court, Abuja. Suswan and his former finance commissioner, Omodachi Okolabia, are alleged to have diverted proceeds of the sale of shares owned by the Benue State government and Benue State Investment and Property Company Limited. The only female doctor who survived Nigeria's Ebola outbreak, Dr. Ada Igono, has given birth to a healthy baby girl in the United States of America. Dr. Igono's daughter was born on October the 3rd, 2015 at the Greater El Monte Community Hospital in California. She had been placed under surveillance since the baby was conceived to ensure a hitch-free birth. Her baby was certified Ebola-free upon delivery. Igono was working at the First Consultant Medical Center in Obalende, Lagos, when Nigeria's index patient, Liberian Patrick Sawyer, was admitted at the facility. At least 7 persons died as a result of the disease, including the Liberian. The World Health Organization, in concert with the Center for Disease Control, formally declared Nigeria Ebola-free on October the 20th, 2014. We'll take a short break here, and when we return, more stories, I should say, coming your way.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, when she move along the street, yeah, me should like that, I'm going girl, you know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few, I'm forever taking it personal. I will listen 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? Brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business and know the pitfalls and know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We did the way you did it.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, we will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
The management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has announced the replacement of the offshore processing arrangement (OPA) option. This is in preference for the more efficient direct sale, direct purchase alternative, which allows for the direct sale of crude oil by NNPC as well as direct purchase of petroleum products from credible international refineries. The new arrangement is a major step designed to enshrine transparency and eliminate the activities of middlemen in the crude oil exchange for product matrix. The NNPC, in a statement, explained that it came to this informed position after the evaluation exercise of pre-qualified bidders revealed that most of the 44 companies earlier shortlisted for the next stage of the tender process only had affiliations to refineries abroad, a situation which introduced toll on the value chain. The corporation stated that if allowed to subsist, the development would in turn constitute a significant value loss to the Federation by way of accruals. Oil prices slipped in thin trading on Wednesday as investors took profit from the previous session's rally, although supply disruptions in Brazil and Libya helped to limit the losses. Brent futures for December delivery had fallen 13 cents to $50 for the 1 cent a barrel, while U.S. crude for December delivery dropped 13 cents to $47.77 a barrel. Analysts say high OPEC production, record high production in Russia, and weak China data are driving prices lower. The global oil supply glut has more than halved oil prices since a peak in June last year. A cargo plane has crashed on takeoff near the international airport in South Sudan's capital, Juba, with many casualties being reported. About 40 bodies were counted at the wreck site by a local reporter. It's unclear how many of the victims were on the plane and how many were on the ground. Juba's Radio Miraya says the Russian-built plane was heading to Palok in Upper Nile State and crashed just 800 miles. That's half a mile from the runway. Presidential spokesperson Ateni told Reuters news agency that there were at least 2 survivors, a crew member and a child on board. Romania Prime Minister Victor Ponta has said he is resigning a day after some 20,000 people took to the streets to protest against a nightclub fire that left 32 persons dead. Friday night's blaze in Bucharest started when a band performing at the club set off fireworks. Demonstrators called for Ponta to step down, complaining of government corruption and poor safety supervision. Ponta is already facing trial on corruption charges. He became the first sitting Romanian Prime Minister to be formally accused of corruption during the summer on allegations of fraud, tax evasion and money laundering dating back several years. He repeatedly denied the charges, accusing prosecutors of being totally unprofessional. Let's turn to sports now. Real Madrid striker Karim Benzema has been arrested by French police over an alleged plot to blackmail French teammate Mathieu Valbuena with a sex tape. Benzema's arrest was confirmed by prosecutors in France, who said that the France international arrived at the police station in Versailles early on Wednesday and was placed in detention. He is the second footballer to be questioned by the police after former international Djibril Cissé was taken into custody last month over the same issue. The matter relates to a judicial investigation opened in July over claims that Valbuena was the subject of an extortion attempt. French authorities have said that former IAAF President Lamine Diack has been placed under investigation for allegedly helping to cover up doping cases and corruption and money laundering charges. The 82-year-old, who stepped down from his position as president of athletics governing body in August, is also facing investigations for corruption and money laundering. The French office, which handles financial prosecution, says a legal advisor to Diack, Habib Cissé, has also been placed under investigation by judges acting on evidence provided by the World Anti-Doping Agency. The investigations were confirmed in a statement by the IAAF, which said that French police visited their offices on Tuesday to conduct interviews. That's it in news now for now. We thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.